A scorned girl's shocking inheritance unveils a billionaire's secret, igniting a war for legacy. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell to catch our latest thrilling tales. Who let her in? The hissed question sliced through the opulent grand hall of the Warwick mansion, a venomous dart from a woman in pearls, her voice dripping with disdain. Zuri, a 15-year-old black girl in a plain gray dress, froze mid-step as the heavy oak doors slammed shut behind her, the echo swallowed by the clink of champagne flutes and the rustle of silk gowns. The chandelier above cast jagged light across marble floors, illuminating 24 white guest suits crisp, diamonds flashing who turned as one, their stares a wall of contempt. Zuri's sneakers squeaked, a defiant note in the cathedral of wealth. Her small canvas bag clutched tight, knuckles pale. A man in a velvet blazer snorted. Must be the help. Laughter flickered, sharp and cruel. As Zuri scanned the room, her heart hammering but her brown eyes unyielding. The air was thick with judgment. A storm brewing. "Excuse me, Miss Charles," a broad man in a navy blue suit stormed forward, his polished loafers clicking like a metronome, his smirk a blade. "Lost kitchens downstairs." The room erupted. Guests hid grins behind gloved hands. A young heiress cackled. The butler flinched. Zuri's pulse roared, but her face was a mask of calm, her voice steady. "I'm here for the will." Charles's laugh was a whip. "The will, this is Edgar Warwick's estate billions. Not charity cases." More laughter, a guest jeering. "Check her for a ticket." Zuri's grip tightened on her bag, but she stood taller, pulling a creased letter from it, its broken wax seal glinting with Warwick's crest. "I was invited." Charles snatched the letter, glanced, and flung it to the floor. "Fake. Get her out." Two guards in black suits materialize, hands twitching for her. Zuri stepped back, her foot catching on a rug, her bag slipping, spilling a notebook sketches of cars, buildings, dreams in frantic pencil. "Move." A guard barked, seizing her arm. Zuri twisted free, diving for her notebook, her voice rising. "I'm not leaving." The guards lunged, but a voice calm, lethal cut through. "Stop, Mr. Harper." A lean lawyer in a gray pinstripe suit stood at a podium, a leather binder open, his glasses flashing under the chandelier. "Ms. Zuri is a guest. Release her." The guards froze, Charles's smirk cracking. Harper's gaze swept the room, silencing chuckles. "We're here to read Edgar Warwick's will. Sit or leave." Guests shuffled to velvet chairs, Charles muttering, "This is a farce." Zuri took a seat at the back, notebook clutched, her pulse a war drum, but her resolve steel. Harper's voice was steady, commanding. "I, Edgar Warwick, being of sound mind, declare this my final testament." The room leaned in, eyes hungry. Charles, cousins, board members, all expecting their names. Harper listed minor bequests: a penthouse to a niece, a jet to a brother. Tension coiled, breaths held. Then Harper paused, his eyes locking on Zuri. "To my granddaughter, Zuri Aisha Warwick, I leave my entire estate mansion, company, accounts, all assets, valued at $3 billion. The hall exploded. Charles leapt up, chair toppling, his roar shaking the chandeliers. "Granddaughter, that's a lie," guests screamed. A woman shrieked. "She's nobody." Zuri sat stunned, her heart a wildfire. Harper's words a thunderbolt. "Granddaughter, billion. Hers." Charles charged the podium, face crimson. "This is a scam. She's not Warwick blood." Harper raised a hand, unflinching, sliding a folder forward. "DNA results. Verified." Edgar's letter, handwritten. He lifted a sealed envelope, Warwick's crest gleaming, and read, "Zuri is my granddaughter, born of my daughter, Aisha, whose love I betrayed. She is my heir." Gasps choked the room. Charles grabbed the letter, eyes wild, but Harper yanked it back, nodding to the guards. Escort him if he disrupts again. The guards loomed, Charles collapsing into his seat, fists shaking. Harper activated a screen, Edgar's frail face appearing, voice trembling, but fierce. Zuri, I failed your mother, but not you. This is yours. Fight for it. The video cut off, silence crushing the hall. Zuri's eyes burned, not with tears, but with fire truth igniting her core. Charles surged again, bellowing. She's a fraud, but the guards seized him, dragging him through the crowd. His shouts, I'll bury you, fading as the doors slammed. Guests whispered, some bolting, others staring at Zuri, now a giant in a gray dress. Harper faced her, voice quiet. Miss Warwick, do you accept? Zuri stood, notebook in hand, her voice a blade. I do. The room spun, guests scrambling, phones buzzing, news leaking, fortunes shifting, power tilting. Outside, Charles raged on the gravel drive, dialing lawyers, his voice a snarl. She's finished unseen, a security camera recorded, streaming to Harper's tablet. Zuri, still in the hall, felt the weight of glares hostile, stunned, predatory. She clutched her notebook, Edgar's letter now in her bag, his words a spark, fight for it. Harper handed her a key, cold and heavy. The mansion's yours, he said. Zuri took it, fingers steady, the metal a promise. Across the city, a woman watched the news break Zuri's face. Edgar's will, Charles's ejection, her hands trembling. Lila, the mansion's former maid, knew Zuri's mother, Aisha, and Edgar's secret. She grabbed her coat, whispering, it's time. The whispers of scorn were drowned by the roar of Zuri's destiny, and the fight was just beginning. The grand hall of the Warwick mansion vibrated with shock, the chandelier's prisms trembling as Charles's roar, granddaughter, that's a lie, ignited chaos. Zuri, 15 and unbowed in her gray dress, stood at the back, her notebook of sketches clutched like armor, her heart pounding as the room erupted. Guests surged from velvet chairs, their tailored suits and glittering gowns a blur of outrage. A woman in a sapphire dress shrieked, she's a fraud, a board member, red-faced, shouted, this is theft. Mr. Harper, the lawyer, stood firm at the podium, his gray pinstripe suit a beacon of calm, but his eyes blazed, daring interruption. Silent he barked, slamming his leather binder down. The sound a gunshot. The crowd froze, breaths ragged, as Zuri's pulse thundered, her acceptance, I do still echoing, a spark in the powder keg. Charles, now back on his feet after being dragged out, shoved through the crowd, his navy blue suit rumpled, face twisted with fury. You expect us to believe this? This nobody is Edgar's heir, he spat, jabbing a finger at Zuri. She's a con artist. Guests nodded, murmurs swelling cousins, investors, all smelling a scam. Zuri's knuckles whitened on her notebook, but her gaze was steel, locked on Charles. I'm here because he wanted me, she said, voice cutting through the din. Charles laughed, venomous. Wanted you, Edgar didn't even know you. Harper raised a hand, his voice ice. Enough, Mr. Langley. Sit, or you're out for good. Charles hesitated, but the guard's looming presence, black suits, radios crackling forced him back, his fists clenched. Harper opened his binder, pulling out a sealed folder, its Warwick crest glinting. DNA results, independently verified. He said, sliding papers across the podium, Zuri Aisha Warwick is Edgar Warwick's granddaughter, born of his daughter. Isha, the room gasped, a collective choke. A woman fainted, her pearls clattering. Charles lunged for the folder, snarling. Forged, but a guard blocked him, arm like iron. Harper held up a second document, handwritten, ink faded but unmistakable. Edgar's letter, notarized. He said, reading aloud to my Zuri, my blood, my regret. Aisha's love was my greatest joy, and my family's cruelty stole her. You are my redemption. Tears pricked Zuri's eyes, but she blinked them away. Edgar's words a fire in her chest. The crowd reeled, whispers turning to shouts. Aisha, the runaway. She died years ago. Charles, face purple, shoved forward again. This is absurd. Aisha was disowned. She had no child. Harper's gaze was a blade. You're wrong. He nodded to a technician, and a screen descended, flickering to life. Edgar's face appeared, aged but fierce, recorded months before his death. The room fell silent, his voice trembling but resolute. Zuri, my granddaughter, I failed your mother. Aisha, letting my family tear us apart. I found you too late, but this, my empire, is yours. They'll fight you, but you're stronger. Claim it. The clip ended, Edgar's eyes seeming to lock on Zuri's. A silent vow. The hall was a tomb, guests frozen. Charles's jaw slack. Zuri's breath caught, her notebook slipping slightly. Edgar's love, a weight she hadn't expected. A board member broke the silence, shouting, "This can't stand. We'll sue." Others joined. A chorus of greed. But Harper raised the letter again. Edgar's will is ironclad, witnessed, filed. Zuri inherits all mansion. Warwick Enterprises, $3 billion in assets. Charles charged the podium, ripping at the letter. But Harper sidestepped, guards tackling Charles to the marble floor. "You're done," Harper snapped, as Charles thrashed, screaming, "She'll never keep it." The guards hauled him out, his shouts, "I'll destroy her," muffled by the slamming doors. Guests scrambled, some bolting for exits, others dialing lawyers, phones buzzing like wasps. Zuri stood, her notebook steady now, the key Harper had given her cold in her pocket. Harper faced the crowd, voice booming. "Anyone else challenges Miss Warwick, you'll face legal consequences. This is her home." The remaining guests shrank back, their glares venomous but impotent. Harper approached Zuri, his expression softening. "Miss Warwick, the estate is yours to claim. Will you stay?" Zuri's eyes flicked to the crowd, hostile in faces, calculating minds then to Edgar's letter, now in Harper's hand. "I'll stay," she said, voice a quiet storm. The room shifted, power tilting, as guests whispered, some slipping out, their dreams of wealth shattered. Outside, Charles raged in the gravel courtyard, his Bentley idling, his phone alight with calls to allies. "She's a kid. We'll bury her in court," he hissed, unaware a security drone overhead recorded, its feed streaming to Harper's tablet. Inside, Zuri felt the weight of eyes predatory, stunned but her spine straightened. Edgar's clip replaying in her mind. "You're stronger." She didn't know Aisha's story or why Edgar hid her, but his faith was a spark. Harper handed her the letter, its ink a map to her past. "Read it later," he said. "It's personal." Zuri nodded, slipping it into her bag. Her sketches beside it, dreams now backed by billions. Across town, Lila, the mansion's former maid, watched the news break Zuri's face. Edgar's will, Charles's meltdown, her hands trembling. She'd known Aisha, helped her escape the Warwick family's wrath, and kept Edgar's secret letters. Lila grabbed her keys, murmuring, "She needs to know." Back in the hall, a woman in emeralds approached Zuri, voice low. "You won't last," she sneered, but Zuri met her gaze, unflinching. "Watch me." The woman recoiled, and Zuri turned to Harper, her voice firm. "What's next?" Harper smiled, a rare crack in his stoic mask. "We secure your inheritance. Embrace for war." The hall emptied, leaving Zuri alone with the chandeliers. Her notebook opened to a new sketch, a house, open, alive. Unlike this cold palace, the secrets were out, but the fight was just beginning. The Warwick Mansion's grand hall was a battlefield of whispers, its marble floors still echoing the shock of Zuri's inheritance. The chandeliers flickered, casting jagged shadows as the remaining guests' silk gowns torn. Suits rumpled, huddled in clucks, their phones buzzing with frantic calls to lawyers. Zuri, 15, stood alone by a gilded pillar, her gray dress a stark contrast to the opulence. Her notebook of sketches clutched tight. Edgar Warwick's video. Zuri. Claim it replayed in her mind, his voice a lifeline amid the hostility. Outside, Charles Langley, banished but unbowed, paced the gravel drive, his navy blue suit soaked with sweat, his voice a snarl into his phone. She's a fraud. Get me Kessler, best lawyer in the state. We're tearing that will apart. His allies, a cabal of cousins and board members, nodded, their Bentleys idling, plotting to bury Zuri under lawsuits. Inside, Mr. Harper, the lawyer, packed his binder, his gray eyes scanning the room. Guards posted at every exit. Miss Warwick, he said, approaching Zuri. They're coming for you. Stay sharp. Zuri nodded, her pulse racing, the mansion key heavy in her pocket, the weight of $3 billion mansion. Warwick Enterprises. Accounts felt like a crown of thorns. She didn't know Aisha, her mother, or why Edgar hid her, but his letter burned in her bag. You're my redemption. The thought steadied her, but the glare's venomous. Calculating made her feel like an intruder in her own legacy. Charles's voice boomed from outside, amplified by a megaphone he'd grabbed from his car. This isn't over. Zuri, you'll be out by dawn. Guests cheered, some banging on windows, their faces twisted with greed. Harper signaled the guards, who stormed out, seizing the megaphone, dragging Charles back from the gates. You're trespassing, a guard barked, but Charles thrashed, shouting, she's stealing our birthright. The crowd neighbors, reporters, drawn by the drama filmed. Ex-post surging Warwick air scandal, Zuri's heart sank, her isolation ablaid, but she refused to run. She slipped upstairs, away from the chaos, her sneakers silent on the spiral staircase. The mansion's second floor was a maze of locked doors, portraits of stern Warwicks glaring down. She needed answers about Aisha, Edgar, herself. A creak made her spin, her hand tightening on her notebook. A shadow moved a woman of 60 in a simple black dress, her eyes kind but wary. You're Zuri, she said, voice low. I'm Lila, former maid. I knew your mother. Zuri's breath caught, her guard up. How Lila glanced at the hall, then pulled Zuri into a study, its oak shelves heavy with leather books. Aisha was my friend, Lila whispered, locking the door. Edgar loved her, but his family called her unsuitable. They forced her out. I helped her send letters to Edgar, secretly. Lila opened a hidden panel, revealing a dusty journal, its pages yellowed. His diary. Read it. Zuri's hands trembled. Opening the journal, Edgar's scrawl vivid. Aisha's pregnant. My family threatens her. I'm a coward. Her eyes stung. The truth a punch. Aisha fled, pregnant with Zuri, to protect her. He found me last year, Zuri said, voice shaking. Sent that letter. Why didn't he come? Lila's face fell. He was dying, ashamed. Downstairs, the guests rallied. A board member, Evelyn, taking Charles's place. Her voice sharp on a phone. Kessler's filing an injunction tomorrow. We'll prove the will's coerced. Her allies drafted press releases, smearing Zuri as a street kid who'd conned Edgar. The news hit X. Bots amplifying Warwick fortune stolen Zuri. In the study, didn't see the storm, her focus on the journal. A loose page fell a photo of Aisha, smiling. Her eyes Zuri's eyes. Zuri's resolve hardened. I'm not leaving. She told Lila, "This is mine." Lila nodded, slipping her a key. "Master suite." More answers there. Zuri clutches the key, but a crash below snapped her back, glass shattering. Guests shouting. She ran to the balcony, seeing Charles, back inside, hurling a vase at a guard. "We won't let her win," he roared. Allies cheering, a riot brewing. Harper stormed in, guards wrestling Charles down, but Evelyn slipped out, dialing Kessler. "Move faster," she hissed. Zuri, watching, felt the mansion's walls closing in. But Edgar's words, "You're stronger," lit a fire. She bolted to the master suite, unlocking it, her breath ragged. The room was a shrine, photos of Aisha, letters, a locket with Zuri's baby picture, a note. In Edgar's hand, Zuri, "Forgive me. Make this house a home." Tears fell, but Zuri wiped them, her notebook open, sketching a new vision, a house alive. Not a tomb. Outside, Charles was cuffed, dragged to a police van. His screams, "She's nothing," drowned by sirens. Reporters swarmed. Ex-post splitting Zuri's a hero versus Warwick scam. Lila found Zuri, her voice urgent. "They're threatening you. Stay with Harper." Zuri nodded, but her eyes were on the locket. Aisha's face. "I'm not running," she said. Voice steel. Harper entered, tablet in hand, showing Charles's arrest live-streamed. "They're desperate," he said. "Kessler's good, but we're better." Ready for the fight, Zuri tucked the locket in her pocket, her notebook brimming with dreams. Ready? Across town, Evelyn met Kessler in a sleek office, her voice cold. "Find dirt on Zuri. Break her." Kessler smirked, unaware Lila was watching, her phone recording, her loyalty to Aisha and now Zuri unshakable. The fury was unleashed, but Zuri's fire burned brighter, her legacy a spark ready to blaze. The Warwick mansion loomed like a fortress under dawn's gray light, its marble halls silent but charged with the aftermath of Zuri's inheritance bombshell. Outside, reporters camped, their vans clogging the drive. Ex-posts raging, Warwick heir, a fraud Zuri, 15, stood in the master suite, her gray dress swapped for jeans and a sweater, Edgar's locket around her neck, her notebook open to a sketch of a vibrant community center, her dream for this cold palace. Charles Langley's arrest for vandalism hadn't stopped him. From a holding cell, he'd unleashed a smear campaign, painting Zuri as a street hustler who'd conned Edgar Warwick. Evelyn, his boardroom ally, amplified it. Bots flooding X with lies, Zuri's no Warwick. Zuri's phone buzzed with hate, anonymous texts calling her a thief. A fake, but her eyes were steel. Edgar's journal fueling her fire, Aisha's child, my redemption. Downstairs, Mr. Harper, the lawyer, paced the grand hall, his tablet streaming Kessler's injunction filing, challenging the will. "They're moving fast." Harper told Zuri, his gray suit crisp, voice steady. "Charles's team claims Edgar was coerced. We're countering today." Zuri nodded, her pulse a war drum. "What do I do?" Harper's gaze was firm. "Show up. Be you." The courthouse was a circus, cameras flashing. Protesters chanting justice for Zuri clashing with Charles's hired picketers, waving Warwick lyric, legacy stolen signs. Zuri stepped from Harper's black SUV, locket glinting, notebook clutched, guards flanking her. Charles out on bail, stood on the steps, navy suit pressed, smirking for the press. "She's a liar," he shouted, pointing. No Warwick blood. The crowd roared, but Zuri strode past, her chin high, ignoring the jeers. Inside, the courtroom crackled. Spectators packed. Kessler, a shark in a tailored vest, grinning at Charles's table. Harper opened with a sledgehammer, presenting Edgar's DNA results, notarized, and the video will. Edgar's voice echoing, "Zuri is my heir." Kessler scoffed. Standing, Edgar was ill, manipulated by this opportunist. He waved at Zuri, his voice dripping disdain. The judge, a stern woman, leaned forward, but Harper was ready. Your Honor, Charles Langley's motives are greed, not truth, he said. Projecting a financial ledger on a screen, Langley embezzled $2 million from Warwick Enterprises, covered by Edgar's trust. He's no heir, he's a thief. Gasps erupted. Charles leaping up, face red. Lies, he screamed. But Harper slid bank records across. Transactions circled. Charles's signature clear. The judge's gavel slammed, silencing the room. Order Zuri watched, heart racing. Charles's smirk gone. Kessler scrambling. Harper wasn't done. Langley's smear campaign. He said, funded by offshore accounts tied to Evelyn Warwick. A text log appeared, Evelyn to Kessler, bury the girl. The crowd murmured, Kessler stammering. Irrelevant, but the judge's eyes narrowed. Zuri stood, voice steady, unprompted. I didn't ask for this, but it's mine. Edgar wanted me to fight. I will. The room hushed, her words a spark. Reporters scribbling. Charles lunged, shouting. You're nothing, but guards seized him, dragging him out, his screams fading. The judge adjourned, warning Kessler, bring evidence, not slander. Next time, outside. Zuri faced the press, cameras blinding, her voice firm. This is for Edgar, for Aisha. I'm not backing down. Cheers erupted. X post shifting hashtag Zuri Warwick trending, drowning the smears. Back at the mansion, Zuri collapsed in the study, Edgar's journal open, her hands shaking. Lila, the former maid, entered, her eyes soft. You were brave, she said, pulling a velvet box from her pocket. This was Aisha's. Inside was a silver ring, engraved with a star, Aisha's favorite. She wore it when she left. Lila said, Edgar kept it, hoping you'd have it. Zuri slid it on, the metal warm, her resolve iron. Why did they hate her, she asked. Lila sighed. Aisha was black, poor. The Warwicks called her unfit. Edgar fought, but lost. Zuri's eyes burned. Sketching faster, a school, open to all. Aisha's ring her anchor. Outside, Evelyn met Kessler in a shadowed cafe, her voice a hiss. We need dirt, real or fake. Break her. Kessler nodded, unaware Lila, trailing them. Recorded every word, her phone hidden, her loyalty to Zuri unshakable. Harper, at the mansion, showed Zuri the X surge her speech viral. Supporters rallying Zuri's the true Warwick, but his tablet pinged a new filing from Kessler, claiming Zuri's DNA was tampered. They're desperate, Harper said. But we're ready, Zuri nodded, ring glinting. Lock it steady. What's next? Harper grinned. We hit harder. Across town, Charles, free but cornered, smashed a hotel lamp, his phone buzzing with threats from investors he'd promised them Warwick shares. Now dust. She's a kid, he roared, dialing Evelyn. Find her weak spot. Evelyn's reply was cold. We will. But Lila's recording, sent to Harper, was already loading Evelyn's voice, plotting, a dagger to their plan. Zuri, in the study, opened her notebook, sketching a future for the mansion classrooms, studios, kids like her dreaming free. Aisha's ring caught the light, Edgar's locket, her shield. The press swarmed outside, chanting her name, but Zuri felt the storm coming. Charles, Evelyn, Kessler, all circling. Harper entered, tablet glowing. Lila's got something. They're done. Zuri's eyes flicked up, voice calm but fierce. Let's end this. The counterstrike was launched, Zuri's courage the blade, and the Warwick legacy hers to forge. Rain lashed the Warwick mansion's white walls as Zuri, 15, stood in the grand hall, her notebook of sketches open to a vision of a school. Aisha's ring glinting, Edgar's locket steady, the air electric with defiance after Charles's failed break-in. His arrest for attempted burglary, a headline blazing across X. But the war wasn't over. Evelyn and her shareholder allies, stung by Victor's betrayal, were regrouping. Their latest move, a chilling anonymous letter, slipped under Zuri's door. "Leave, or you'll burn," the words a knife. But Zuri's eyes were fire. Her call to Ethan, her hacker friend. "Swift. Trace it," she texted, while Harper, her lawyer, prepped for a press conference to seize control of the narrative. The mansion's chandeliers glowing as Zuri faced a mirror, jeans and sweater swapped for a sharp blazer. Her voice rehearsed. "This is my home, my fight," and outside. Reporters swarmed, cameras flashing, supporters chanting Zuri Warwick against a rival crowd's fraud. As Harper led her to a podium, microphones bristling, her breath steady, "Today, I honor Edgar Warwick's legacy," she began, voice cutting through the storm. "This mansion will become the Aisha Warwick Scholarship Center, a home for kids of color to dream, learn, create." The crowd erupting, X posts surging, hashtag Zuri Warwick trending. But Evelyn, watching from a hotel suite, smashed a glass, dialing her nephew, Nathan, Charles's grandson, a wiry 20-year-old with a grudge. "Do it," she hissed. And Nathan, the letter sender, sped toward the mansion, his motorcycle roaring, a Molotov cocktail in his bag, while Ethan's hack traced the letter's digital footprint to Nathan's burner phone. His text to Evelyn damning she'll run, and Zuri, mid-speech, saw Harper's tablet flash Ethan's proof. "It's Nathan Langley," she nodded, continuing. "No one can steal our dreams." Her words a spark, supporters live streaming, but Nathan was close, ditching his bike, scaling the mansion's fence. Rain masking his steps, until Lila, the former maid, spotted him from a window, her shout alerting guards, who raced out. Zuri finishing. "This is for Aisha, for Edgar, for us," to thunderous applause, unaware of the threat, as Nathan lit the cocktail, arm cocked, but a guard tackled him, the bottle shattering harmlessly, flames snuffed by rain. Nathan screaming, "She's a thief," as cuffs snapped on. Zuri, briefed by Harper, stormed to the gate, facing Nathan, his eyes wild. "You don't belong," he spat, but Zuri's voice was ice. "This is my home, and you're done." The crowd cheering, cameras catching her stand, X exploding. Zuri shuts down attacker, and back inside, Lila pulled Zuri aside, her voice soft. "Edgar dreamed of peace. Aisha too. They wanted this house to heal." Handing her a faded letter, Aisha's words to Edgar, "Our child will bridge worlds." Zuri's eyes stung, her resolve iron. "I'll make it happen," she vowed, while Harper showed her the news. Charles, indicted for embezzlement and now conspiracy, his bail revoked. Evelyn's shareholder allies pulling back, their funds frozen by Harper's legal strikes. But Evelyn, desperate, met a new ally, a rogue shareholder. "We take the company, not the girl," she hissed, unaware Lila, trailing, recorded, her phone a weapon, and Ethan, in his basement, hacked Nathan's burner, finding text to Evelyn. "I failed. Try harder." Sent to Harper, who grinned. "Courts tomorrow. They're finished." While Zuri, in the study, read Aisha's letter, her sketches bolder, a campus for dreamers, classrooms open to all, her phone buzzing, supporters flooding X. "Zuri's our hero." And a call from a local school. "Can you speak to our kids?" Zuri smiled. "Yes," her voice aflame. And outside, reporters lingered, the storm clearing. Aisha Warwick Center trending. Charles, in a cell, saw the news, smashing his fist. She can't win, but Zuri was unstoppable. Lila's words echoing, "You're their bridge," and Harper, tablet glowing, showed Zuri Nathan's arrest video. "He's talking," implicating Evelyn. Zuri's eyes met his. What's next? Harper's grin was fierce. We end them. And Zuri, ring and locket gleaming, opened her notebook, sketching a gate wide, welcoming, her flame of resilience burning brighter, the shareholders' shadows fading, her legacy a blaze no one could snuff. Sunlight streamed through the Warwick mansion's towering windows, bathing the grand hall in gold as Zuri, 15th prime, stood at its heart, her notebook open to sketches of classrooms and studios, Aisha's ring glinting, Edgar's locket steady, the air alive with purpose as the Aisha Warwick Scholarship Center took its first breaths, workers hammering in the West Wing, transforming cold marble into vibrant spaces for kids of color to dream, while outside, a crowd gathered students, parents, activists chanting Zuri Warwick, their placards waving, X buzzing with hashtag Aisha Warwick Center, Zuri's press conference a global spark. But the war wasn't over. Evelyn's shareholder allies, battered by Nathan's arrest and Lila's recordings, were scrambling. Their latest move, a last-ditch lawsuit claiming Zuri's center misused Warwick funds. And Zuri, in jeans and a blazer, met Harper in the study, his tablet glowing with court filings. They're bleeding, he said. But we've got a surprise. Pulling a hidden ledger from Edgar's safe, its pages revealing a secret trust, $500 million for education, earmarked for Zuri's vision. He planned this. Harper grinned, and Zuri's eyes widened. Edgar's foresight afire. Her sketches now backed by millions. But her phone buzzed. A letter from Charles. In prison. His scrawl shaky. I was wrong, forgive me. Zuri's jaw tightened, tossing it aside. He doesn't get to ask. She told Lila, who nodded, her voice soft. Aisha forgave, but you choose your path. And Zuri, clutching her locket, felt Aisha's strength, her resolve iron as she toured the center, kids arriving for a pilot program, their eyes bright. One girl, 10, hugging her. You're like me. Zuri's heart swelled, sketching a mural for them, open hands, stars, dreams while Harper prepped for court. Nathan's confession, forced by Ethan's hack, nailing Evelyn's fraud. Her accounts frozen, her allies ditching her. But Evelyn, in a rented office, met a rogue shareholder. Marcus, his voice cold. We leak Zuri's past foster homes, poverty, make her look unfit. Unaware Ethan, in his basement, was hacking Marcus's emails, finding a bombshell, an old message from Edgar to a private investigator. Find Zuri, I want to meet her. Dated a year before his death. Ethan sent it to Zuri, her breath catching. He looked for me, tears pricking, but her fire burned brighter. And Harper, seeing the email, grinned. This kills their unfit claim. As Zuri prepared for a UNESCO call, their rep, Ms. Carter, offering a global partnership. Your center's a model, she said. Join our network. Zuri's voice steady. Let's do it. Her vision now worldwide. While in court, Harper unleashed the ledger. Edgar's trust silencing Evelyn's lawsuit. The judge ruling for Zuri. The center stands. And X erupted, Zuri's legacy trending. Evelyn's scream echoing in her office. Marcus bolting, but Lila, trailing, recorded their panic, sending it to Harper, who showed Zuri. They're done, he said. And Zuri, sketching, added a library to her plans. Kids painting walls, their laughter filling the mansion. But Charles's letter nagged. Lila urging, read it, for you. And Zuri did, his words hollow. I lost myself to greed. She burned it. I'm building, not hating. She told Lila, who smiled. Aisha's proud. And Ethan's next hack hit Marcus's offshore accounts, linked to Evelyn, exposed on X, their empire crumbling, while UNESCO's logo joined Zuri's center's site. Schools worldwide applying. Zuri speaking to a class. Dream big. Her voice a spark. kids sketching with her, one drawing a star like Aisha's ring, Zuri's eyes shining. And Harper, in the hall, got a call Evelyn's arrested, fraud charges stacking, her allies indicted. It's over, he told Zuri, but her focus was the kids, their mural half done. Her notebook brimming, a text from Ms. Carter Paris Summit next month, oi, you're our star. Zuri grinned, I'm there, and Lila, watching. Slip on her a photo Aisha, young, smiling. She'd love this. Zuri hugged her. Locket warm, ring bright. The mansion no longer a tomb but a heartbeat. Ex-posts flooding. Zuri's changing the world in Harper. Tablet dark. Lean back. You're unstoppable. Zuri's sketch grew a campus. Open gates. Stars above. Her legacy reborn. Charles's voice a distant echo. Evelyn's schemes dust. The kids' laughter her anthem. Aisha's dream alive. Edgar's trust her sword. The flame of resilience blazing, ready to light the world. The Warwick Mansion, once a cold monument to wealth, pulsed with life under a radiant summer sky. Its marble halls transformed into the Aisha Warwick Scholarship Center. Classrooms buzzing, studios alive with young artists. And Zuri, 16 now, stood on a stage in the reborn Grand Hall, her blazer sharp, Aisha's ring glinting, Edgar's locket steady, her notebook tucked away, sketches now reality as 100 students, teachers, global dignitaries gathered for the center's grand opening, cameras flashing, news crews streaming live, the world watching. Zuri's journey from scorned outsider to billionaire heir, a global saga. Charles Langley, broken in prison, his embezzlement conviction a footnote. Evelyn and her shareholder allies indicted, their empire dust, their smears drowned by waves of support. Social media alight with posts of Zuri's speech. News tickers flashing, Aisha Warwick Center opens. And Zuri, gripping the podium, her voice aflame, began a year ago. They called me nothing, but this gesturing to the vibrant hall, kids painting murals, is everything. The Aisha Warwick Scholarship, named for my mother, will fund dreamers of color, because no one's dream is too small. The crowd roaring, a girl in the front, clutching a sketchbook, cheering loudest. Zuri's eyes shining, her vision alive. But the weight of battles, Charles's rage, Evelyn's plots, Nathan's attack lingered. Yet Lila, the former maid, stood by the stage, her smile proud, slipping Zuri a USB before the speech. Edgar's last gift, she whispered. And Zuri, heart racing, had watched it alone, Edgar's frail face filling a screen. Zuri, my granddaughter, make this house a home for all. I believe in you. His voice breaking, a secret video Lila kept for years. The twist igniting Zuri's resolve. And now on stage, she unveiled the scholarship's first award, the Aisha Grant, for visionaries like you, pointing to the kids, their gasps echoing. A UNESCO rep, Ms. Carter, joining her, announcing a global partnership. Zuri's Center is our blueprint. The crowd erupting, news spreading, posts flooding social media. Zuri changes lives, and Zuri, stepping off, hugged Lila. He saw this. She whispered, Lila nodding. Aisha too, while Harper, in a gray suit, grinned by the stage, his tablet dark. No more lawsuits, he said. You won. But Zuri's focus was the kids, guiding them to a mural open hands. Stars. Aisha's spirit, her brush adding a final stroke. A bridge, symbolizing peace. And outside, the mansion's gates stood wide, families streaming in. The Cole Palace now a heartbeat. News crews capturing kids coding, painting, dreaming. Zuri's speech replayed globally, a Paris summit inviting her to speak. You're our star, Ms. Carter texted, And Zuri, in the study later, opened her notebook, sketching a new wing music rooms, labs her phone buzzing, a local mayor offering land for expansion. Name it Aisha, Zuri replied, and Lila entered, holding Aisha's old scarf. She'd wear it here, she said, Zuri wrapping it around her shoulders, the fabric warm, her eyes on a canvas, painting a scene, kids under a starlit sky, a bridge to tomorrow, her art a vow to heal, not hate, while Charles, in his cell, saw the center's opening on a grainy TV, his head bowed, his fight lost, Evelyn's name erased, Marcus fled, their shadows gone, and Harper, meeting Zuri, showed a final document, our Warwick Enterprises, cleansed of corruption, now funding the center. Your empire, he said. But Zuri shook her head. Their empire, nodding to the kids, their laughter filling the halls, and social media swelled, posts of Zuri's mural going viral, a UN tweet praising her. A new era, while Zuri, at dusk, stood on the mansion's balcony, painting finished, the bridge glowing, Aisha's scarf soft, Edgar's video replaying in her mind. Make it a home. And she had. The center a beacon, kids sketching beside her, one drawing a star like Aisha's ring, Zuri's smile fierce, her voice to the crowd below. This is ours. Cheers rising, news helicopters buzzing, the world watching, and Lila, by her side, whispered, You're their bridge. Zuri nodding, locket warm, ring bright, her canvas a testament, hate defeated, love built, Aisha's dream eternal, Edgar's faith fulfilled, the mansion alive, kids dreaming, Zuri's legacy immortal, her final sketch, a promise open gates, endless stars, a world where no dreamer is turned away. Tao, from ridicule to redemption. A young heir transforms a mansion into a beacon for dreamers. Thanks for listening. Like, share, and subscribe with notifications on to never miss our newest epic stories.